And now I would like to announce and welcome again Mrs. Nora Laubstein and her presentation, which is called "There Are the Three Eyes: What Makes the Difference."
Yeah, hello, hello, hello. Yeah, okay. Hello, I'm back. Fine to see you here after this great presentation. And I want to take you now into a little rally about the three E's. What yesterday I've told you there are three E's, and we will talk about that. The three eyes. Yeah, so sorry, eyes, the three eyes. It's not this eye, it's an other eye. This eye, oh, one eye. So, okay, what are the three eyes? First, I start without any eye. The characterism of traditional medicine is something which is important, and you know there are global resources, roots and history. We have the intangible cultural heritage in this field. We have an interdisciplinary holistic health approach. We have an individual approach and personal centered. I think this is important here to talk about the difference between individual approach and personal centered. Here are a lot of doctors and researchers who always talk about personal-centered. But the definition is important to know. You need an indication of the ICD-10 or ICD-11 code. What kind of disease is it? You go into a clinical hospital and there's a workforce working on this indication level. So the person who is there, it's the patient. And now this group of workforce has a leader, in general a doctor or a professor. And now only the doctor and the professor is able or allowed to give a diagnosis. The workforce people are involved and can give their input to this indication, for example, as gastritis. And then the doctor tell us or decides yes or no whether the workforce will do that. So in a clinical way, the personal-centered mean the patient with a gastritis on ICD-10 or 11 now is in the hand of the clinical workforce. All there are educated in the national system, and they have professions, and there's a hierarchy. So this is personal-centered. Individual approach is completely different. This means a holistic approach in the way that in the traditional and complementary medicine, you look at the whole person and his competencies and his social background and his field. And it's not only gastritis, there are a lot of other symptoms which are not based on the ICD. So you make an anamnesis and you have a complete other aspect. So this is really important to have the difference. Response on stimulation techniques, this is a characterization. Prevent and regenerate health, use of natural biological remedies. We have a second market and we have a first market. So who knows what's the first market? Are there any ideas what's the first market? Jesper?
Recognized, thank you, recognized treatments within public healthcare, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And reimbursed, so you don't have to to take your money out of your pocket?
Yeah, it's a national health service. It's the governmental politic. It's regulated by the regulation of insurance companies. And so this is the public health sector. This is the first market on a political language. What is the second market? It's not the hidden market, it's the private market. And the private market is this, where the traditional and complementary medicine over centuries has its successes. In the last 50 years, this field in the second market is the most successful development in the health of the people, and you have in every country different possibilities for private insurance, or you can connect with the health insurance companies. So the private market is for freedom of therapy, the freedom of innovation. You have a lot of research in this field which is not covered by the public health sector. So for us, and for example, for my profession, the second market is my home. And I can work there legally, and this is important that all people can work legally in the private market, in the second market. Because the first market, the public health market, the legislation is very strict, and there are a lot of regulation, documentation, certification, and all these fields which are in the mainstream medicine now. The workforce is suffering about so much documentation, about so much cost, increasing documentation and certification, all this stuff. So I think it's important for you to know this difference between the first and second market before we talk about the 3 I's. Now we go to the 3 I's. The first I is interdisciplinary. What is interdisciplinary? We can work cross sectors, and we can collaborate with different professions. So this is very interesting for when we talk about the intangible cultural heritage. We see, for example, herbalists, we see biologists, we see physicians, we see anthropologists, and socialists. So we see all those professions who can work together for research, for example. For the CAM, for traditional and complementary medicine, we need a new research design to build up all this, what's included in the traditional and complementary medicine. For me, the medical research system is not enough, and the evidence-based medicine system is not enough, and it's not fit for the traditional and complementary to build it as a whole. This is for me a fact. We have interdisciplinary, we have mutual respect and flat professional hierarchy. For me, for example, as a non-doctor, it's always very difficult to be respected or to be part of the game, because in general the doctors say what's going up, and so we have the hierarchy, and we have to think about how useful is hierarchy, and interdisciplinary work is a very flat professional hierarchy. Then we have the development of the study design, consideration of studies from different scientific fields. So it's very interesting to look for quality research and to include the quality research aspect and other forms of research to bring in a new research design for traditional and complementary medicine. The communication is on a mutual level, exchange of experience. This is also very important. And the individual-centered basic on holistic anamnesis. I said this in the person-centered and individually based concept. The next I is integrated care. Integrated care is that the professionals of the first market and the second market can work together. They have the respect and they make a contract for a special thing and a special treatment, and they can work across the border of the first and second market. In policy, it's really a long time common. They call it public-private partnership, the 3 PPPs. But sometimes it's in a bad way that the private industry takes overall. But on the other hand, the politicians, when they have no money and when they have no ideas, they ask, oh, please, please, private sector, please give me some money, please give the solution. So this is the big thing. But on the local level, you can ask, for example, a dentist, if you are not a doctor, you are a practitioner in traditional and complementary medicine, you can ask a dentist for common working together on a level. You make a contract and then you can bring the energies together. So this is the integrated care. Individual doesn't work. Individual contractually regulated hierarchy. The contract gives the hierarchy. This is interesting, and it breaks up the institutional hierarchy. Special regulations and contract negotiations are necessary. Providers in the healthcare sector can work together across market border in a holistic manner. This is a possibility of integrated care. And the third I is integrative medicine. This is what here is presented all the time. Integrative medicine. What is integrative medicine? We have this topic as when we talk about migrants. Migrants should integrate themselves, should integrate their culture, should become a partner, and I think the question is how far it is really a form of integrative and integration, or is it assimilation? And for me, the way we have to bring up traditional and complementary to be accepted by the first health sector, sometimes it looks like assimilation. And this is not, for me, it's not a positive development. It helps some interest groups to bring up their traditional medicine into a health system to be part of the financial game. So it's very critical, I know. But on the other hand, it's interesting that the health workforce who has the education in the first market and is accepted in the first market, for them it's helpful. For example, nurses, midwives can take over acupuncture, can take over Ayurvedic, can take over traditional European medicine methods, can bring it into the system and ask in form of the hierarchy if they can or if they don't. And then they have to accept what the insurance company says. You have in a quarter of time of 3 months, you are paid for 6 acupunctures, for example. So you have to think about what the 3 I's are, and this is 15 minutes, I think is very short, but these are the questions, and the other side of integrative medicine, what will happen with homeopathy, chirurgy, spheric, backflower, manual therapies, question mark, education, who knows best, what's the future of the medicaments and remedies, what's about this? When you say the best of 2 worlds, I ask what's about the rest. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we also thank Nora Laubstein for her contribution and explaining to us what the 3 I's are and what makes the difference.